So this is how to not be intimidated by people you're trying to impress. So I get asked this question a lot, especially by dudes who are intimidated by authority figures. And that's the way I used to be. I was a good like Asian kid that way. And I overly respected authorities. And that happened in school. And one of the things that I started getting away with was pretending like I knew more than I actually knew. And that can only take you so far. So I got to grad school, and just before I got into grad school, actually my senior undergraduate period, I was in this classical reading class, and it was a classical Chinese reading. And I hadn't prepared for these classes as well as I should have. And I was wondering, does the professor know? Can he tell that I'm sort of just making stuff up along the way? Or sometimes I had the English translation on my lap while we went around the table, and I'm pretending like I'm not looking, and I'm actually translating on the spot, but I'm not, because I got the English translation on my lap. And I was living in a graduate student dorm at the time as an undergrad, so I was lucky. And I remember asking a senior Ph.D. student whether he thinks the professor could tell, and he said to me, "David, look, this professor, he's been doing this for 40 years as a professor, and you're starting out as a senior undergraduate. So you may think that you're getting away with hiding stuff, but he knows a lot better. So his 40 years versus your, one little year or whatever it is of classical Chinese." And he said to me, "It's sort of like this, David. You're like an ant in the palm of his hand. And you're squirming around and you're hiding, and you think that you're hiding, and you think he can't see, but he sees everything. Now, whether he points it out to you, is a different question. It might be because he's trying to protect your ego or whatever it is. But he sees. Don't think you can get away with it." And I was like, oh my God, you're right, he can see. So I went into the classroom with a new attitude, to all the classes, because I was doing that to a certain degree in all of my classes, pretending like I knew more. I was putting up a front because I wanted to impress them, and I wanted them to think that I was better than I really was. And I realized, okay, let's assume that my friend is right, that they see everything. Then I shouldn't pretend. So if I didn't know the answer, or if I didn't know the passage, I would just say, I really don't know. I'm struggling through this one, but here's what I think. And pretty quickly, I found out that the professors respected that a lot more. And my friend was right. The senior PhD student was right. They were seeing everything, but they just didn't want to point it out. And I decided that that's a great attitude to take through life. That you should always assume that these people you're trying to impress can see through all of your pretending. And that's the way actually out of the catch-22, because it's a catch-22. If they're worthy of impressing, like if you want to impress them, you're going to be nervous around them because you want to impress them. And the catch-22, there's a solution to it, and it's that if they're actually worthy of you impressing them, then they should be good enough that they can see through your bullshit. And if that's the case, then the way out of it is to realize that and to be 100% honest and forthright and transparent. And I decided I would do that. I would live my life with 100% integrity as far as I could, and assume that the people that would be good in my life would see that, and that I wouldn't have to put up any fronts or any facades or masks or any pretending, that I could be 100% transparent with the people that I wanted to draw into my life. And that's worked out really well in my life. So the secret to impressing people that you're that you're intimidated by is to not try to impress them, but to be 100% honest and assume that they can already see through all your attempts to impress them, and to just be as much as you can yourself, not hiding anything, not trying to pretend to be anything. And this means that in life, you should strive to live a life that you're not ashamed of, and to work every day to reduce your shame. So, by the way, right, this is a great attitude and approach to life. Assume that the people that you're trying to impress, they can see what you're doing as if you're an ant in the palm of their hands.